And we're back. This is segment 6, I'm pretty sure. This is the intimate segment. We're planning on it being the final one. The lights are lower, and there's a certain different thing on this table than there was before.
See if you... Oh,
I'm sorry.
We're gonna make a fun game. The first commenter that would get it right would get a free cow.
Well, we'll have to think. Maybe we can edit that out later.
I'm sorry.
We'll bleep it.
Well, we can bleep it. Say what you were going to say, Brian.
First commenter gets a free cow. Who gets it right? What's the new thing on the table?
What's the new thing on the table? Do you get it? Nikki, do you want to tell it now that they've had some time to guess?
No, because they might get it. They might guess wrong.
Right, and they don't get their free cow.
They don't get a free cow.
How are we... Well, anyway, we don't have call.
We'll set up a PayPal account and all that.
Okay. Well, anyway.
Well, no, that's... Well,
we were wrapping up
Showdown. Doesn't make sense if it's a free cow.
And the thing that I remember about Showdown that really sent everything downhill was a missed appointment.
Is that even accurate? I don't know.
I don't think that's accurate.
It was one of many things.
Yes, I was going to say, I remember another incident that was the end of everything, so...
Did it involve the farewell show?
It was shortly after the farewell.
Incident.
Okay,
I do.
There was a...
Was I involved in it?
Yes.
There was an appointment
You and me, specifically?
Sorry.
There was an appointment at the church involving Luann.
I must know.
And we talked about it a little bit at the break, which explains the eyes
I won't be paying attention.
that are a little bit moist. But would you like to talk about that a little bit?
Can you repeat the question?
There were many people scheduled for an appointment, a vocal tracking appointment at the church. I believe Nikki was and Luann.
Luann was gonna drive out from like her hour and a half away.
Huntley?
Yeah, house.
That can't be more than a half hour.
It's a long drive. But she drove out to like unlock the church for us and stuff, and then we were gonna be there. And must have been I'll wait for you, something important that we needed beautiful sounds for.
Yeah, I think
Probably.
so. Yeah.
Because that was our epic, penultimate, beautiful song. And then that didn't happen.
No, that didn't happen because Nikki had to work. And I thought I had told Brian this earlier. No, I didn't. All right, so apparently I had told him only after he called me.
Well, yeah, because you were saying, like, it was last minute, and they said come in, and you came in, and we just didn't know where you were. That's the way I remember it.
Okay.
Could be wrong.
She came in? What?
She, like, said you have to come into work.
My work.
Oh, you went to work.
Went in.
Okay.
I was constantly working at that point. I really didn't have control over all that.
And was that a falling out? There were so many falling outs we've discussed so far.
Nothing was a falling out. It was all just stuff.
It all just, yeah. I remember an instant where I was rude on purpose to you, I believe, when you had come into Nate's house. You and Brian Rafferty brought some new instrumental tracks. No?
No. It's coming back, but now
it's coming back.
Now I want to know. I still don't remember everything about it. But now I want to remember what those instrumentals were. Right. I don't know. That's the most important part now.
So you had written some instrumentals, and I blatantly was like, nope, don't want it. Don't want to work on this one. Don't like this one. And you got very angry and had left.
There was a little CD that Brian put out later.
I bet they were on there.
Called, I don't know if it was sent to anyone other than Brian Rafferty and me, because it
was just you.
It was just me. So I have a CD that Brian made just for me, I guess, known as
Go for it.
From Moss to Be, a
colon
an
instrumental history,
instrumental,
which has double meanings too.
And every track, which it sounds like it's mostly instrumentals and stuff like that Brian made that didn't make it onto Moss 85 albums.
And there were a lot of them.
And every one has a little story printed about it. And a lot of them end with which Nikki inevitably rejected.
Or which was outright rejected by Nikki or something. I don't know.
So apparently there are a lot of things that he wrote that you didn't like.
Yeah. Well, I think it was just the place in time like that I was at. That's what it was.
But some of them were accepted by Nikki. Like
That's
Pistols
good.
and Pedals instrumental was on there.
The ones that did make it to Showdown are very good. I've got to say, I think Showdown, from what I've heard,
It was our elaborate screening process.
is a very mature and well-produced sounding album with good songs. I still think it's a shame that Showdown didn't really make it to the public, because it seems like music that people would actually like, and it's well done and stuff like that. It's just a shame.
We still have about 10 months.
Of course, I started working on my second album, 6 years ago, and it got about a third done. And it's just sort of not something that I do lately. So I don't know if it's just Moss 85, just no interest, not really interested in that anymore. Or we have different lives because we're married now. Or are we going to finish this album?
I haven't heard anything from your thing. And you keep saying, you want to wait until it's done.
Yeah, I actually made
wanna
it
hear 'em.
on my to-do list. I made a point to start just making halfway decent mixes of all the stuff that I have recorded, and maybe make an album out of it, because I don't think I'm going to officially
EP.
finish it. An EP, yeah. Because, there's a lot of good stuff that I spent a lot of time recording, and it's all live playing and stuff. But I don't even have equipment that functions anymore, so I'm not going to try to make anything really awesome. I'm just going to hopefully finish what I've done.
If the play button still works and stop and rewind, which maybe they don't, you can record every track onto Audacity. That's what I've done. And then do some a little bit more easy to manipulate stuff on there.
I have Chuck's computer for Pro Tools, which I did record every track on, and I always found that computer really difficult to use. Anyway, so I don't know if there are Moss 85 plans, but you had a farewell show at the Oasis or something?
Mm-hmm.
Was that actually a farewell show?
It was a show.
Some
It was
kind?
a show, but I don't think it was intended to be the farewell show. It just happened to be.
That show was the only time I've ever heard Pistols and Pedals sung all the way through. To this day. Because he refused to do it for us.
Are you going to sing an a cappella Pistols and Pedals before we end the show?
I don't think that I would remember it, to be
I
honest.
have, on the showdown so far, I have the first couple verses or whatever. Maybe it'll come back to you.
Maybe.
That's the after midnight hour.
Ooh. So you just played a show. I
Yeah.
think was I at that show? Cindy and I
Yes.
went to the show.
Yes.
And it was you,
Mm-hmm.
Brian, and Natrid, and B-Ref?
B-Ref.
It was the band.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty good.
That's the only show Brian Rafferty's ever played, I think.
Really?
In his whole career.
Well, he's nervous. So what we were talking about earlier, are there Moss 85 fans to this day? Because the stuff we're talking about where Moss 85 kind of stopped functioning was about 5 years ago. About 5. Are there
Late
people who would be
2006.
interested in new Moss 85? Is there a reunion tour planned? We were considering bringing some instruments upstairs and having a jam, but I don't think anyone did that.
Are you all just looking at me?
I'm looking at y'all.
I'm looking at you.
So there's no reunion tour planned.
Nothing planned. That's not to say that it wouldn't happen, but I
You're
have.
making the fans really excited.
It might happen.
Here's the deal.
We're all-
I was under the impression that we've moved on, and especially
Oh.
since Brian's,
I'm
doing
still
his
waiting
own
for
thing.
next June.
You don't know what Brian's doing.
I don't know. Maybe I do.
You don't know me.
I don't think
Those motions.
But
I was under the impression that we're doing other things.
no, I'm just saying. Like I thought Brian is over it, but maybe I'm wrong.
10 months.
I have no idea what Brian wants to do.
That's right. See,
Honestly, I don't have the energy for a tour. I would be up for a jam sometime, and if Brian gets an HD camcorder to replace his stolen one, then he could record it. But
the only way I would ever consider doing
This doesn't sound good. I'm scared for the end of the sentence.
the only way I would ever consider doing anything Moss 85 related album wise would be if Eric did it too. But I don't think that he's up for it. But that's what I'm saying. Because I thought that Moss 85 was, it's us. You know, it's us.
it's
and
who?
Us.
That could be anybody.
Cindy too?
Cindy too. No.
The three of us?
Yeah.
What do you mean you thought it was us?
When I think of Moss 85, that's what I think of. I think
That's who
of,
it should be.
yes.
Well, that's interesting, because that's what I think, too. Even though it didn't really work out too well for me. But that's what I think Moss 85 is, and when I thought of doing the show, like I said, the three of us. And then Brian, who is Mr. Moss 85,
That's right.
starts saying, well, you've got to have Brian Rafferty there. I mean, he was the start of the band and stuff.
Again, we were the power trio. But, I mean, Nick Carbonaro was like the other one to start it with me, but I don't think he would. He was never really that involved or anything. He left because we didn't have a singer.
I would be up for drumming on stuff. But
Yeah, I mean, I think if something was to happen, I would think we could talk you into playing drums on something, no problem.
yeah, I mean, I don't have recording equipment anymore. I can record one track at a time like this. But recording stuff, I just, I don't have equipment that works anymore. And what else? And I have a shortage of time.
Yes.
A serious shortage of time. But playing drums, that'd be a fun thing. Jamming would be enjoyable, but we all live far away and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, there's not really
There's really no reason to do it. It's the only thing.
But our fans. Oh, y'all out there.
This is a very awkward and kind of disappointing moment for those fans.
We'll have a jam session at Nikki's house sometime.
You could come to my house. My house I have a huge basement. So,
Well, what else is there?
that closer to normal than here?
yes.
Well, there you go.
Didn't we discuss meeting at your house for something sometime?
I wanted you guys to come see it, but,
Well, I'm all out of stuff to talk about. That's pretty much all there is.
So we're leaving this with a ...
Ding. So, Brian and Nikki, you seem to get along okay?
Yeah, it's surprisingly okay. So,
I never
I'm
had
not
any...
giving you any instrumentals right now, so there's nothing to complain about.
but
little sly, snarky comment.
no. I haven't.
Well, I haven't had any issues with either of you.
That's because you're Sweden or
That's
Switzerland.
right. If Nikki's here to work with Brian, I'm perfectly happy to see Nikki. And if Brian's in town to see a Rohr, I'm perfectly happy to see him.
Well, this
Yeah.
has been enjoyable, guys.
Well, good. We have 17 minutes in this segment. If there's anything else you'd like to get off your chest, please do so. Family life going okay for everybody?
Really, it's come to this. I think we just have to leave it as is, I guess.
Well, I guess we'll do that.
I guess I'm still a little interested in the incompleteness of Showdown, if nothing else.
Did you want to complete Showdown, Nikki? Did you ever have that as one of your goals? I think I wanted to complete Pipe Down. Brian wanted to complete Pipe Down and Showdown. And you wanted to complete Pipe Down. And
It just never felt the same. I don't know.
We'll go back and listen to them, and you'll feel different.
No,
Because they're better. They're good.
this
All
is
right.
apparently a lot of this
Or-
is my fault. I felt kind of bad at the time, but
Or we could have Eric. We could erase nature.
that's terrible.
is there any way we
Maybe
can
that is-
make sure he never
Sees this.
sees this or
Yeah.
asks anything about us? Okay, so go
We'll
on
all
with
change
your
our
idea.
names.
You can still
I do
erase
still
the
have
nature
a hard
drums?
drive with all the stuff on there.
Really? Oh, what kind of hard drive?
A Tascam hard drive. I got a second hard drive for it.
You can do that?
And so there's the old hard drives. I never deleted anything off of it. I might have. I mean, I bounced a lot of the tracks around and combined them and stuff, but
If you want me to... I'd have a lot of songs to learn, but I could probably...
you
pick it
know
up.
all the songs.
You
You've heard
know.
them all.
You.
We played through them all. You
Oh,
can
yeah.
study our recordings we made. I don't know if you saw any of it.
I saw them, and I was very upset that nobody asked me.
You hated us.
This was a couple months ago, right?
Yeah, this was
I
made
didn't-
obvious 5 years ago by the standing Brian up at the church. That you obviously hate him.
I do.
I
I hate him. I don't hate him.
I just...
Do you hate me?
I don't hate you. Do you hate me?
No. See, we cleared
Oh,
that
that's
up.
great.
Is there any resentment still?
I wish the album was completed. That's
He's
about
not
it.
letting me go, is he?
That's about it.
He's gonna corner me into a room until I say yes.
Well, the only other, like, I don't know if it's an incident or whatever, the thing that kind of got to me was on 2 occasions you looked me in the eye and shook my hand and, like, gave me a deadline for vocals will be done by this time. That was the other thing that got to me.
I'm sorry.
Kind of stuck with me.
I'm sorry. But we're at different places now. That's not how it is anymore, unfortunately. I feel like I'm being interrogated. I feel terrible. Sorry, what else do you want me to say? We did what we could, and that's that.
We can still do more.
So Brian's still interested in finishing this album. It sounds like it's just a matter of a few vocal tracks. But
Yeah.
Nikki has
We
issues
did nothing
with the
in
drummer and the
Can't be
fact that it's
associated
not
with-
me.
Yeah, I would love to finish it.
Let's put that on a loop.
I would finish the album, but I
Funny.
just don't.
There's Voice of Reason.
Yes.
The rest of Pistols and Pedals.
Yes.
Well, there's a like My Profusion.
74464.
74464.
Yeah.
That has scratch vocals. I'll wait for you to just have scratch vocals. Then Fix It has scratch vocals. So I guess there's 5.
I just,
And Bad Karma.
like I said,
nothing.
I just feel.
It's more than I thought.
Yeah, just,
I guess there were
just
4
this one,
completed.
and this one, and this one, and this one. Oh, and this one.
It's only 6.
I'm in a completely different place in my life. I'm still interested. Every day I think about recording and doing stuff again, and I would like to realistically say that I would love to do it, but I just don't know. Especially because you're so far away. How would that work? I have a child. I can't just pick up and go,
I think at
have
this
weekends.
point... Well, Brian,
Some weekends.
I don't know. At this point, at least for me, it's like we could do Moss 85 stuff, but it's like we did Moss 85 stuff when we were all hanging out in Schaumburg and Bartlett, and that we didn't have anything else to do.
It's like Michael Jordan coming back as a Washington Wizard.
Is that what it's
And
like?
being bad. We
didn't
would
have-
ruin our
No,
reputation.
please, just do you agree with me if we ever did do stuff because we're so much more mature and older and college educated that you would think that maybe the stuff that we would do would be much better, but we don't have. It's just a matter of where we are now in life, priorities, and
I don't know.
Yeah, there are other priorities,
Mm-hmm.
at least for... See, Brian is still a major music
I was
guy.
going to say, I've still certainly kept up in the with the music thing.
And Brian seems to still really like doing music and recordings and stuff. And my interests have, I guess, branched out. I was a music guy at those ages, and now my interests have branched out into working
Woodworking.
on house stuff, woodworking, and cutting my car up, and buying a motorcycle, and having a family, and just... I'm experiencing the world, and I have a piano which I play, most days, and a drum set which I don't play quite as much. And I'm interested in recording. I like taking pictures, put them on the computer. I like recording these shows now, which is a method of recording. But I do so many different things, and at the time I had a real serious goal of finishing the eryo5 album, and that stuff has just been sort of put to the side. And Moss 85, I mean, if it would be fun, then let's do it, but I don't have this internal drive to finish Showdown or really any other album. I think it would be a lot of fun to hang out with both of you, but we would have to make time for it. We'd have to travel for it, so.
I felt a look coming at me. I don't know.
It's just,
A look. I give him.
I guess I don't have the drive.
All
to
I can
complete
see is
the
your
album.
eyes through the hole of the...
Well,
Brian seems to want to finish the album. But Nikki, I don't know what you're into now, but you work and you have a family and stuff, and it's just, you probably don't have the drive to finish the album, do you?
I don't want to say that. I don't think that I could be as proud of the material as I once was. You know what I mean? That's way back in the day.
Do you have any interests in new musical endeavors?
Quite possibly.
As something fun to do, or as making a statement with an album?
Bold return.
The-
Here I am.
No, I mean, the kind of stuff that I like my musical taste now is quite different from what it was, and...
Do you consider yourself a musical artist today?
No. I wish.
Right, me too, I guess.
I wish. I wish, and I
You
think
wish?
about it all the time.
You want to be a musical artist?
Yeah, I think about it all the time. I know that sounds strange, but, I'm trying to put reality and dreams to,
Well, now I'm confused.
I would love to do it, but I'm scared that if we were to do it again, it would be exactly what it was back then. Nobody has time. It would be difficult, So it's just, I don't know.
The thing with my band now that weren't we just talking about this about
Brian
how
has a band.
Yeah.
Yes.
We're adults now and we all have day jobs and we're very business-like and practical about everything, and we're going to rehearse on these days and we're going to do these shows and whatever. But it's, our kind of side project thing. And I always get more into it than anybody else and sit in the dark room alone, that kind of thing, more than anybody else. But it's still, our little side thing that we're doing for fun, and it's not like anybody's feelings are hurt when somebody can't practice on a day or whatever. It might be annoying if they keep canceling all the time, but
everyone has day jobs.
But it's a completely different thing being in a band now that you're older and wiser. And our bassist specifically was in a band in high school, and we've bonded a little bit over our experiences then, and now we're older, and we wrote a song about that and how now we're kind of older and wiser and whatever.
It's like when you're a teenager, being in a band is that's your future. I'm going to be a rock star.
We didn't think we could make the same statement, and this was our life, and it was such a big deal back then, and we never thought we could, be in a band that good again, whatever.
I was watching okay, so in 2 different parades now, I've seen this same Crystal Lake Strikers. They are an adult drum line who drums to popular music and classic rock, basically. And it's sort of informal, but they play their marching drums. And I've never seen anything like that, and it's sort of something that they're older and they enjoy and stuff. So I thought that was interesting, and then I started looking up YouTube, marching, really good marching bands. Marching drum lines specifically, because that's something that I've always enjoyed. It seems like that's a thing that college people do, and it seems like when you're in college and you're in the good drum lines, you do competitions, and that's like your life. I don't really know. I haven't done that. But
drum lines are pretty intense.
They're intense, and they're regimented and structured, and you have to get up early, and it's like being in the military or something. I don't know. It seems like they all take it seriously. So anyway, I was looking at one. There's a YouTube video promoting some secret marching drum line somewhere in Europe or something, and they're in this big stadium, and it was dark, and they had fire and stuff, and they're all really good and really precise. And I was thinking, wow, they must be really, this is all they do. And the announcer said something like, all these guys have day jobs, but at night percussion takes over their lives. There's something about them having day jobs that I went, oh, so this isn't all they do. It's so special if this is what they're all about. It's so mysterious. But if they all have day jobs, they work in an office somewhere. Somehow makes it less special. And I guess that reminds me of us a little bit. We do other things. Music would be something that we could maybe have fun with, but it's not it doesn't have this mysterious, this is really going to go somewhere like we used to think. But
Yeah.
Brian has made a career out of music things, so I don't know what he thinks of it.
I mean, I don't think there's any reason necessarily not to do something just because we couldn't devote all our time to it, or because it would be different in some ways than it used to be, or anything like that. If it's something that would be fun and every once in a while we could do.
It seems like it would take an awful lot of commitment for something that...
It depends on what our plans are. If we're going to record an album again, that would be quite a commitment. Still not impossible, I don't think, given the internet age we live in. But
I like how he threw that in there. All right, here's how I'm going to leave it. Okay? If you... What? How much time do we have? Nothing?
4 minutes?
Okay, here's how I'm going to leave it, all right?
Wrap us up.
If you feel like starting something up again, then you know where I'm at. And
Sort of.
email and call. You know. So if
Plainfield, Illinois.
yes, Plainfield,
Joliet
Illinois.
area.
You know what-
Nikki,
I'm just saying. If you don't want, that's fine. I'm just saying, if you don't want to talk to me anymore, that's fine. Because it took us 5
I'm
years to
searching
get.
for you in Plainfield.
It
That's what that was.
It took us 5 years to get in the same room together.
Brian doesn't
so.
have your contact information.
That's unfortunate. That's real sad.
I recognize that number. Maybe it's still on my phone. I don't know.
I'm confused.
I still know.
Did you give him your contact information?
Absolutely.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Huh?
So why don't you
5
have
years
it
ago?
then?
What do you mean?
No, I gave you my for my wedding and stuff. Like I would.
Well,
I called you a lot.
Huh?
Yeah. And I'd leave you messages and stuff. But anyway, that's a different topic.
3 minutes.
You did it? Not about the wedding.
Yeah. I asked you. I kept asking if you were going to go.
Talk to me on the phone?
No, you never picked up when I called.
I never got a voicemail from you about a wedding.
Mm-hmm.
Did you leave a
Never got
voicemail?
that.
Voicemails, text messages.
To my number.
Yes.
Do you know?
Were you calling that lady that everybody thought I
No.
was?
No.
I never got any of that.
Because I would
heard about-
assume that it would be you because of a very strange voicemail.
What was it?
I don't remember, but it was really weird, and I thought
How
that's...
convenient.
That must have been you.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Weird, but unmemorable.
Do you have his number right now?
I don't know. What is your number?
He's not going to tell you.
You'll just say, "Yep, that's it."
I'm not going to pull
This'll
some
be good.
advertising. No, I don't want to.
Let me
Call
use
me now.
my iPhone.
I'm scared now.
I mean, I heard about that stuff like from Eric and stuff, but never from you.
Wait, do I have your number anymore? I might have deleted it.
Ooh.
I did. I got really angry. So, nope.
Well, now Brian's safe in thinking that you never had it.
No, I had it. I deleted it.
And there was a really weird voicemail.
Yeah.
Okay, what is your voicemail?
Right now, let's see. For a long time, it was a robotic voice saying, "You have reached,
No, it's not a
you
weird
have reached Brian Rohr's telephone. Please leave a message at this time." I think that's what it was.
Okay.
Well, then you would have
Now I
known.
have clients that I have to appear professional for, so it's my own voice saying basically that.
Yours sounds exactly like my work voicemail. You've reached Erik Rohr. Please leave a message.
All right, then.
Well, so that was
Well, there's
unresolved.
that.
Unresolved.
So Brian should have your contact information, and you should have his, but you deleted it.
Brian didn't prove
Out
that
of
he
spite.
has mine either. So,
Well, is it 362?
Brian's claiming that he didn't have yours.
Because I just remember that from back then, because that's an awesome number.
Isn't Brian claiming that he doesn't know how to get a hold of you?
that's what he's claiming.
Well, I'm not claiming that. I think I used to have your number in here. Things have happened, but I think I probably still do.
Things have happened. How convenient.
No, I think I do. And so if you would have called me, it would have said, no, you're not in here. But, but I would, if it was, is it 362?
I don't know. Why don't you call it?
7,000? Okay. But your name isn't in here right now, but 1, 8,
Wait.
4.
No.
7.
You wouldn't be 847, remember? I was always
630.
630. I'll give him a fair shot. This is what he should have done 5 years ago if that's my number.
It was all a big misunderstanding.
Yeah. number.
Well,
She's
we've
not
reached our
answering.
30-minute mark.
She's not answering.
I don't know
She
what
must hate
we
me.
resolved exactly.
She must hate me.
Hello.
No, Brian takes offense at that and never calls her again.
How dare you?
Nothing has been resolved. It was just good seeing everybody again. That's what it came down to.
Well, it was definitely nice to see both of you again. And we're over our time. So thank you, Nikki, for coming in, driving from Plainfield. Brian, thank you for coming from Normal, specifically today, to do this. And this is Erik Rohr, eryo5 Radio, saying goodbye to Moss 85.
Goodbye.